Join us as we travel back in time to revisit 20 things only those who grew up in the 1980s will remember. Ready? 1. Mall culture. Before Amazon, this was the place to be. The mall wasn't just for shopping. It was where everything happened. You'd go with friends, get a slice of pizza, maybe hang out by the fountain or arcade, and just walk for hours. You didn't need a reason. The mall was the reason. It had everything: the food court, music stores, toy stores. Whether you had money to spend or not, the mall was where you went to see people and to be seen. Who else remembers those endless Saturdays spent just roaming around? Great times, great friends, and great memories. 2. Arcades. All you needed was a pocket full of quarters. Arcades were electric. You'd line up to play Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, and if someone was really good, people crowded around to watch. There was always one broken machine and one kid who always beat your score. But do you remember the feeling when your initials finally showed up on the high score screen? Whether in the mall, a pizza place, or the corner convenience store, the arcade was the ultimate after-school hangout. The 80s were the best. 3. Blockbuster Friday night wasn't complete without a trip here. Going to Blockbuster was an event. You'd walk through the aisles reading every movie cover like you were picking out something sacred. Sometimes the movie you wanted was already rented, but hey, you'd find something else. You'd grab a VHS, maybe some popcorn or candy at the counter, and head home for a movie night that felt special every single time. Who else remembers the joy of finding the last copy of a new release just waiting on the shelf? 4. Playing outside until dark. The best thing about the 80s? No cell phones, no internet. It was awesome. Who else remembers those endless summer evenings that felt like they'd never end? Back then, the neighborhood was your playground. You'd ride bikes, climb trees, play tag or make-up games with whatever you had around. No one had to plan anything. You just showed up outside and someone was always around. We didn't wear helmets, we got dirty, we drank from the hose, and we loved every minute of it. You only came home when the streetlights came on or when your mom yelled from the porch. 5. The MTV boom. When MTV actually played music and changed everything, it was so awesome. It started in 1981, and suddenly, music was about more than just sound. It was about looks, style, and attitude. Madonna, Prince, Michael Jackson, their videos were on all the time, and we couldn't stop watching. If you had cable, you were instantly cooler. MTV became more than just a channel. It wasn't just TV. It was a front row seat to the birth of a new generation. 6. Walkman. Your music, your tape, your world, the Walkman changed everything. For the first time, you could take your music with you, on the bus, on your bike, or just walking down the street. Pop in a cassette, put on your headphones, and press play. Suddenly, it was just you and your favorite songs. You didn't need speakers or a big stereo anymore, just that little box on your belt, and maybe a pencil to rewind the tape. 7. Scratch and sniff stickers. Stickers you could actually smell and trade. These weren't just stickers, they were an obsession. You'd collect them in sticker books, trade them with friends, and of course, scratch them just to smell them again. Some smelled great, like bubblegum or grape. Others were weird, but we still loved them. Teachers gave them as rewards. Friends showed them off at lunch. Everyone had a favorite. And let's be honest, even if the smell faded, we kept them anyway. They were small, but they made school a little more fun. 8. Oregon Trail. If you went to school in the 80s, chances are you played the Oregon Trail on an old classroom computer. The graphics were simple, but the game was serious. Hunting, crossing rivers, losing oxen, and trying not to die of snakebite or dysentery. It was supposed to be educational. But it was also kind of fun. You weren't just playing a game, you were surviving history, and every time the computer turned on, you hoped it was Oregon Trail Day. 9. Fanny Packs. Fashion? Maybe not. Useful? Absolutely. Fanny Packs were everywhere. You wore them around your waist, stuffed with snacks, quarters, or whatever else you needed for the day. They came in bright colors, shiny materials, and sometimes even with cartoon characters on them. You'd wear one at the mall, at the park, or while riding your bike. That little pouch had your back. Looking back, they might seem a little silly, but at the time, you felt cool. 10. Cabbage Patch Kids. No two were the same, and everyone wanted one. Cabbage Patch Kids were more than dolls. They were a craze. Each one had a different face, name, and even a birth certificate. Stores couldn't keep them on the shelves. Parents lined up early, hoping to grab one before they were all gone. Kids carried them everywhere, to school, to the store, even to bed. Some people still have theirs today, packed away like tiny treasures. Do you still remember the name of yours? 11. Pac-Man. You already know the sound. Pac-Man was everywhere, from arcades to lunchboxes, t-shirts, cereal, and even a cartoon. He wasn't just a game, he was a superstar. Simple idea: eat all the dots, avoid the ghosts. But somehow, we couldn't stop playing. That sound, the maze, the ghosts, it was all part of the magic. And if you were really good, getting your name on the high score felt like a big win. Some trends fade. Pac-Man never really did. 12. Christmas in the Sears catalog. Before online shopping, this was the dream book. The Sears Christmas catalog was everything. It came in the mail, thick and colorful, filled with page after page of toys, bikes, video games, and clothes. Kids would grab a pen and circle everything they wanted, sometimes the whole page. It wasn't just about shopping. It was about dreaming, sitting on the floor, flipping through the pages, planning your perfect Christmas morning. Who remembers? 13. Paper fortune tellers. Pick a number. Now pick a color. Paper fortune tellers were everywhere at school. You'd fold them out of notebook paper, write silly fortunes or dares inside, and decorate the outside with bright colors or doodles. Then you'd ask a friend to choose a number, then a color, and finally, reveal their future. Sometimes it said you'd marry your crush, other times it said you'd be rich, or have 12 dogs. Who remembers making one during class when you were supposed to be paying attention? 14. Rotary Phones. Rotary phones were in almost every house. Who remembers the sound of that dial spinning back into place? You'd pick up the heavy receiver, stick your finger in the dial, and spin, one number at a time. If you messed up near the end, you had to start all over again. There were no caller ID, no texting, and no taking your phone anywhere. It was stuck to the wall, and so were you. But there was something nice about it. You really had to talk to people. 15. Saturday morning cartoons. Saturday mornings were magical. You'd grab a bowl of cereal, sit in front of the TV, and stay there for hours. Shows like Thundercats, He-Man, the Smurfs, and Scooby-Doo filled the screen, one after the other. There was no streaming, no pausing. If you missed it, you missed it. The fun ended by noon, but for a few hours, it was all yours. Getting up at 6 a.m. on a Saturday to watch the Thunderbirds, then cartoons all morning until midday. What a great time to grow up. Back then, we didn't realize how good we had it. No internet, no social media. The best decade ever. 16. Dangerous playground. Slides would burn your legs in the summer. Monkey bars were high and hard, and merry-go-rounds. They spun way too fast, especially if there were older kids pushing it. But we didn't care. We climbed, jumped, and held on for dear life, usually without helmets or supervision. It wasn't always safe, but it sure was fun. How did we survive all that and still call it recess? 17. TV Guide Magazine. Before streaming, this little book ruled the TV. TV Guide was a must-have in every home. Each week, you'd flip through its pages to see what shows were coming on and when. You'd circle your favorites with a pen, plan your night, and make sure not to miss your show, because there were no replays. It wasn't just a guide. It had interviews, sneak peeks, and sometimes even posters inside. All that from one tiny magazine you kept by the TV. Simple, small, and totally essential. 18. Metal lunchboxes. It's lunchtime, and you pull out your metal lunchbox at school. Your lunch said a lot about you, especially the box. Metal lunchboxes weren't just for carrying food, they were a statement. Whether it was Star Wars, E.T., or the A-Team, your lunchbox showed off who you were. And it was so exciting to see what was inside that day. Maybe a ding-dong wrapped in foil, or a fruit roll-up. Oh man, good times. Pretty much anything Hostess was a treat. 19. Mood rings. Mood rings were everywhere. You'd slip one on and the stone would change color. Blue for calm, green for happy, black for who knows. We believed it could really read our emotions. It wasn't just jewelry, it was a little mystery on your finger. Everyone compared colors, swapped meanings, and swore theirs was accurate. Even if it didn't work, we wore it like it did. 20. BMX bikes. BMX bikes were pure freedom on two wheels. We built ramps out of anything we could find, tried tricks we saw in movies, crashed, got up, did it again. Those bikes were fast, light, and loud. Riding with your buddies, looking for curbs to jump, great memories. Skinned elbows and busted pedals were badges of honor. For a kid in the 80s, nothing felt cooler than riding your BMX like you owned the world. So, did I leave something out? Friday night trips to Blockbuster, Saturday morning cartoons, and weekends at the arcade. Those were the best parts of being a kid back then, right? What else do you remember from growing up in the 1980s? Share your memories in the comments. I'd love to hear what made your childhood special too. Thanks for watching.